Depending on who you ask, between 50 and 70% of all CRM implementations fail. This is a mind-blowing number. I'm Tony Dowling, and I specialise with my company Real Inbound in closing the adoption gap. That is the space between buying your CRM, in our case HubSpot, and getting it to work properly in your business. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what the adoption gap is, why it's such a big deal, why it's so important to solve it, and how to solve it. If you want to learn more about our services, have a look at the link in the description. So, if you're wondering, after you've spent a fortune on HubSpot and getting it onboarded and getting it implemented and having all your teams trained, why no one is using it, then you're in the right place. This is what we call the adoption gap. First of all, let's start with some definitions so we understand what I'm trying to say. The first definition is onboarding. Onboarding in HubSpot language is basically getting people set up on the system. It's getting their emails connected, getting their settings put into the right place, and maybe getting them trained on the tools that they use. All good stuff. Implementation is setting up the broader system, so connecting it maybe with other systems that you have, integrating it to talk to your account system or your ERP software or anything else, and building workflows, setting up your meeting links, the technical stuff of HubSpot, if you like. Most onboarding implementations stop there. Most HubSpot partners and most IT teams will do that for you. They'll get HubSpot set up for you. Adoption, on the other hand, is the point at which everybody in the business is using HubSpot. And more importantly, you as a management team can use HubSpot to drive forward your tactics and your strategies. There are probably 3 reasons why people want HubSpot in the first place. Not many people necessarily think about this, but the 3 reasons are usually to become more customer-centric, so that we can be a little bit more understanding of what our customers need and what they want and respond to that. To become more data-driven. This is something everybody wants. They want to base decisions based on what the market is telling them, what the data is telling them, and so on. And to technologically enable the teams in your business. So to give them cutting edge tools, cutting edge software to make sure they're as efficient and as effective as they can possibly be. Sounds great. That's why you buy HubSpot. Fantastic. And there are 5 mistakes businesses make when setting HubSpot up that mean that adoption piece fails. That mean the HubSpot implementation in its own right fails. The 5 mistakes are: you don't build your own strategy into HubSpot. HubSpot's not a strategy. You don't build a management control system. That is a way that you can utilize HubSpot to make sure that people are doing the things that you want them to do. You don't optimize systems and processes in HubSpot so that they're built for HubSpot. In other words, you can bring old systems in which are too clunky and take too long and don't take advantage of the efficiency. You allow bad data into HubSpot, which is a disaster on so many different levels. Not only will it impact the quality of your marketing and the quality of your sales, but it will disillusion the people who are using HubSpot, because every time they go to a record, it's out of date, or it's incomplete, or it's duplicated. And the final one, people aren't trained enough. We see people getting trained on HubSpot, usually a one-shot. Maybe if they're lucky, they'll do the Academy, which is great. The HubSpot Academy is a fantastic resource. But training in a CRM system and in the systems and processes in your business needs to be continual and ongoing. Let me know in the comments of the video if you've faced those problems, if you've seen businesses make those mistakes. This is where we can really help out. Closing the adoption gap is what we do. We work with our clients to create a plan that pulls HubSpot through the organization. We don't just push it into the organization or drop it onto people. We allow and work with the management teams to pull adoption through so that everybody uses HubSpot, but more importantly, you can get the information out of it that you require in order to make the changes that your business needs. The thing is, if you don't close the adoption gap, if you just implement HubSpot like a lot of other software, any CRM system, it'll fail. If you don't pay attention to the adoption, it will fail. It fails time and time and time again. We see it all the time with our clients. Clients that we go to work with to help because it's already failed, or even clients that we've worked with in the past that it ends up failing because they don't close the adoption gap. It's a big thing for a HubSpot partner to admit. And if they're honest, a lot of other partners will tell you that they face the same issues. We set it up, we implement, we integrate, we onboard teams, because a lot of the time we don't pay attention to the adoption, that adoption doesn't happen. And of course, when that adoption hasn't happened, what gets blamed? HubSpot. Well, the partner, but usually HubSpot, the tool itself, gets blamed for being rubbish. And then what do? We get a new tool. So we see this pattern of between 6 and 9 months of an implementation cycle. People get to the end and it starts to fail. It starts to decay, we call it. We call it HubSpot decay. And gradually the business thinks, we've got to get a new CRM. This one's rubbish. And then they go through all the process again. They do the research. They get really excited about the new product. The salesperson gets them excited about all of its power and what it can do. And they buy a new CRM. And then you go through the migration process. You start, excitement is high again. You get, this would be fantastic. This is going to solve all our problems. You get it integrated and implemented and onboarded just like you did before. And within 6 months, that system is going through the same problems. Because again, the adoption wasn't taken care of. The biggest issue with this, apart from the massive waste of time, of course, is the cost. It's going to cost you tens of thousands of pounds to implement a full CRM system to train everybody properly. And then if you consider that it fails and it's the system's fault, you rip and replace, which all CRM companies will tell you they do a lot of. It's a scandal. They do a lot of this rip and replace. You're then going to just waste all that money again without paying attention to the adoption gap. This is the essential piece. If you're interested in finding out more about the adoption gap, you can look at the links in our description of the channel, and you can download our educational email series. You can download our HubSpot adoption framework if you like, and obviously watch our videos and read our LinkedIn posts, because we talk a lot about this stuff. We talk about how to successfully close this adoption gap. I'd love to hear what you think about this issue, if you face it yourselves in your business and what you've done to overcome it. Drop a comment and let me know. But just to sum up, buy HubSpot, onboard HubSpot, implement HubSpot is only half the battle. You have to adopt HubSpot in order to make it successful. And the only way to adopt HubSpot is to cross that adoption gap. Stay tuned for more videos on the topic where we show you exactly how to do that.